everyone, it's Maki. Are you enjoying GQuuuuuuX? Episode 6 has been released, and many fans are captivated by the incorporation of elements from Zeta Gundam. There was even an homage to War in the Pocket. Personally, I'm hoping we'll eventually see some references to Gundam Double Zeta as well. Now, let's take a closer look at the final details of Episode 6 of GQuuuuuuX. Please be aware that some spoilers will be discussed. And just a quick announcement. My channel is currently accepting support through memberships. For just 99 cents a month, you can get a name badge and comment stamps. Now, let's begin the analysis. First, let's discuss the president of Side 6. We learned that his name is Pelgomino. Pelgomino is actually a character who appeared in the first Gundam story. He was introduced as a businessman who owned a supply dock used for spaceship repairs. In Side 6's neutral territory, military cooperation is strictly prohibited by law. To circumvent this law, Pelgomino built his dock just outside of Side 6's jurisdiction. This allowed him to provide services to both the Earth Federation and the Zeon forces. They were hired to repair the battleship White Base, on which Amore was aboard, but lost their dock during an attack by Zeon forces attempting to attack the White Base. Like many others, he suffered because Amo encountered the Gundam. In the world of GQuuuuuuX, it seems that Pelgomino has climbed all the way up to the position of president of Side 6. In the first Gundam story, Pelgomino proudly stated I'm in a position to negotiate with the top brass of both the Earth Federation and Zeon. However, he doesn't seem to be particularly skilled in politics. Sharia Wu bluntly stated Side 6 has monetary value, but nothing else. Due to his lack of political influence, he was unable to drive out the battleship Sodan and overlooked the infiltration of weapons arranged by Basque. Is the Side 6 colony headed for the same fate as Pelgomino's dock in First Gundam? Given the inclusion of homages to War in the Pocket and the appearance of Pelgomino, it's likely that the colony will be destroyed. Additionally, in Episode 6, Amate searches for a place to hide the Gundam. It's not realistic for a child to secure a location where both GQuuuuuuX and the Red Gundam can be hidden on their own. The most plausible option is the battleship Sodan. The colony will likely suffer catastrophic damage, and Amate will escape by boarding the Sodan. Alternatively, Amate might conclude I shouldn't be in this colony and decide to board the Sodan on her own. In War in the Pocket, the protagonist has witnesses the casualties of war firsthand, and the shock leaves a deep impression on him. I have been caught up in the excitement of teaming up with Bunny to defeat the Gundam, like heroes from a TV show. However, when he sees the deaths of many people resulting from their actions, he's hit hard by the reality of it. Oh! This pivotal moment conveys one of War in the Pocket's major themes, a child coming to understand the reality of war. Given the number of homages GQuuuuuuX has incorporated so far, it's likely that we'll see Amate experience a similar moment. Now, let's talk about Tamaki, Amate's mother. We actually mentioned her in yesterday's episode, too. She's a normal mother who worries about Amate's future and wants her to have an ordinary, happy life. However, Amate doesn't yet realize how fortunate she is to live an ordinary life. That said, Tamaki isn't portrayed as a flawless parent. She genuinely wants Amate to be happy and tries her best for her. However, there are a few things she says that seem a little puzzling. Let's take a look at the scene at school, where the teacher Tamaki and Amate are discussing their future careers. Tamaki scolds Amate for skipping cram school without permission. In that scene, she exclaims, "How am I supposed to explain this to your father?" Although she's speaking as a worried parent, she seems more concerned with presenting herself as a good mother. When Amata says she wants to swim in the ocean on Earth, Tamaki gets angry and rejects the idea, saying that's not a valid future plan. Tamaki is a high-ranking official in the Side 6 government. With a clear head, she could easily suggest career paths that would allow Amate to achieve her dreams. For instance, if Amate wanted to become a marine researcher, the dream could become a reality. In Hathaway's Flash, the protagonist Hathaway Noah travels to Earth under the pretense of training to become a botanical inspector. There are realistic paths that could support Amate's dream, but Tamaki never considers them. Instead, she outright denies Amate's aspirations. Although she claims to respect her child's wishes, Tamaki clearly wants Amate to follow the path she's already envisioned for her. Of course, it would be unfair to judge Tamaki as a bad parent based solely on that one statement. There's no doubt she genuinely loves Amate. However, it's evident that a growing emotional disconnect exists between them. The most frightening thing is wondering where things will go from here. Will they overcome their differences and reconcile, or will they become permanently estranged? Judging by the sight of the Psycho Gundam firing a massive beam cannon inside the colony, things seem to be headed in a darker direction. I'm looking forward to seeing GQuuuuuX's shield with the eye field in action next time. According to the gameplay details, the shield has a built-in device that generates an eye field. This system is designed to defend against beam weapons. In the Universal Century timeline, there are also technologies like beam coating that protect against beam attacks. Unlike beam coating, which passively offers protection, the eye field works by generating a special force field to block the beam. One key difference is that the eye field must be actively powered on to function. GQuuuuuuX can likely use it because its Omega Psycho can read the pilot's thoughts and respond accordingly. For machines without a Psycho system, the pilot must activate the eye field manually using a switch or similar input. Additionally, the eye field doesn't completely erase the beam, it scatters it. This means beam particles are dispersed into the surrounding area, which is a notable downside. This isn't a huge problem on the battlefield, but using it in the city can cause serious collateral damage. In Hathaway's Flash, scattered beam particles result in devastating destruction. Now, we've seen the Psycho Gundam fire beam cannon right in the middle of the city. This could lead to a truly terrifying outcome. Miss Tomoyo Kurosawa, the voice actress who plays Amate, said in an official program that seeing Amate and Miran get along in the ending sequence makes my heart ache. Since this is a Gundam series, some fans might already be predicting that things are going to get rough for Amate and Miran. GQuuuuuX is using a knife field to block beam weapons in the city. The pilot is Miran. If the residual energy from a beam weapon takes Tamaki's life, we might never see Amate and Miran smile together again. There are also some smaller details worth mentioning. Take a look at the model number shown during the Psycho Gundam's delivery scene. It reads MSMN 2000. The Xian Gauge from the original Universal Century has the model number MSN 02. They look similar, don't they? In the original Universal Century timeline, the Psycho Gundam was developed based on the Zeon God's design philosophy. It was a weapon created by the Earth's Federation forces that incorporated Zeon's technology. However, in the GQuuuuuuX world, Zeon won the war, and the Earth's Federation was defeated. There shouldn't have been an opportunity to absorb Zeon's technology. Could the forces, who as Basque mentioned found the Zombie family's rule distasteful, have decided to cooperate? Another curious moment occurred when Sims told Sharier, "I brought some wine from California." In the world of GQuuuuuX, Zeon abandoned the North American region. California is technically enemy territory for Zeon because it's part of North America. Of course, since it's a peacetime era, it's probably possible to purchase and import goods normally. However, I can't help but wonder if there's a hidden meaning in having a character specifically mention California, which is supposed to be enemy territory. Could the word wine itself actually be a code name for something else? Maybe I'm overthinking it, but it's still interesting to consider. Was there anything in episode 6 that caught your attention? Let's keep cheering on the story as it moves forward. Thanks so much for watching until the end. See you in the next episode.